It's always a process to determine when you're building something you've never seen before, where do you put normal things? You know, I could buy another gas tank and put behind the seat in the cab, but honestly, I want that space for other things. I want to turn this truck into something drivable. And putting that gas tank in the cab just doesn't work for me. So where do you put it? For me, it's time to do a little fab work. So that's when the fabrication comes in. That's when you have to start building and you have to kind of work with what you got. Stick around. Let's see how I did this one. Let's go to the shop, guys. Go ahead and build the mount for my gas tank. So originally I had the gas tank sitting there in that corner. I think I've decided I'm going to drop it down between these two rails and do a little bit of measurement first. The two low mount drains, or what should be feeding the pump, I'm going to go straight out the back. Try and center it up on that best I can. At the same time, what I want to do is extend that frame all the way back to this level right here and cut straight across, and quite possibly get rid of this mount and use the original bed mounts here. That'll give me a little more room. Then I'll probably come up to this level and put a floor in, just because, hey, I think it'll look cool and all that good stuff. So I think I figured out the way I want to do this. So here's my plan. Is this frame is short here. I'm gonna go ahead and fill this frame out, go straight across. So I'll fill up between here to here with the frame rail, both sides, true that up. Then I'll make a drop leg here, there, there, where I can bolt up from the bottom side, all 4 points. And then I'll put underneath of that, my thoughts are I will put probably some type of a rubber pad and then a piece of 1/8" sheet metal or something underneath of it. Make sure there's not static in the build or anything, but something to kind of protect that aluminum. By the time I start building, it might completely change, but right now, that's the plan. I just have to extend the frame out a bit. What I want to do is right here. Same thing right here. All right. I'm going to weld this side. That'll draw in. I'll be able to push it out, sit it into the frame rail up in here, weld this corner and this corner, and then I'll be able to take the bed off and finish all my fabrication. Right now, I just want to make sure it's sitting about where I want it. Then when I get the bed off of it, I'll be able to, set the bed over here, stand up, and be able to get to the fenders and finish those up, but then finish up this mount. So this is going to come back here a pretty good ways. Then I'm going to put my fuel tank in. And I think I'm going to drop it just right at the bottom of the frame. So it'll be the bottom of the fuel tank and the bottom of the frame will be just about level across here. My idea right now is I'll probably drop in another piece of this 1.5" tubing, go across, weld it up to the side where I can set the tank here, do the same thing here, but instead of that, go back probably to an angle and then slide underneath. But yeah, one solid bar here, and then I'll take two this direction and kind of encase that whole piece. Big thing is I need to modify that in-tank fuel pump a little bit so that it goes a little lower. Probably need just to move the pickup down a little bit on it. Otherwise, should be pretty good to go. So for right now, stay tuned. I'll get a couple things taken care of, then I'll come back and weld this in. Get a decent ground might help anytime you're welding. I'm going to need section right now. So that's 37. So I need 36 and a half with 2/4 inch. Once I hit that 60 I stepped up to 170 section to this right here. We'll cut off well bit center to it. That'll allow that to drop exactly where I need it, so I can get the height right on. So I'll cut that so high. All right, so got the bed off. This is all pretty solid, but I still need to weld around it. And then I can put my gussets on here to kind of clean that up. Also need to clean up here, so I'll be able to weld my fuel tank on. All right, anyway, what I need to do now, get these cleaned up. Go ahead and clean the outside here, run this top bead, and then we'll look at what I need to do as far as gusseting to get this thing to look exactly the way I want. Welding this up, just one quick pointer. If you're welding with flux core, drag. If you're welding with MIG, you push. Wire feed does not mean MIG. All right, so one thing here, a lot of times you'll see people make templates out of cardboard or paper or whatever. Roof flashing works really well too. Aluminum, you can cut it with scissors the same as anything else. But once you shape it, it stays in that shape. So I can literally bend this around. So right now I know I'm gonna go to there. All right. So right now, the cool thing about this is I need to go right to there, right? So right now I've got it. It's perfectly up to there. It needs to be this wide. Right now, that's what I want my gusset to look like. From here, I'll weld along the bottom. To the top, right there. Son of a bitch. So to do that, I know right here and right here, I think it's time for a new Sharpie. But, well enough for right now. Did I see this? Line it up, and one swift cut right there. Same on this side over here. Right there. So now, I've got my gusset here where I want it. Again, the edge to there to here. It's pretty good. So there are the gussets I need. And that's going to get me close enough when I put this in. I'll be able to weld this around the edge, weld it here, a little bit of grinding, it'll tighten that all up. So simple as that, just a little piece of aluminum. Holds its shape when you're making it a little better than cardboard or paper. A little harder to work with. Careful, it can get sharp on the edges. But now that I've done it, flatten this right back out. Lay it down on my metal, trace it out, get the old plasma cutter out, knock it out. First thing I want to do though is I want to smooth that up, clean it off so I can transfer it. So the amount of time it took me to lay that out, these will not be perfect. But again, what I'm doing here is not a perfect truck. This is a really cool project. It's amazing how short this thing looks without a bed on it. I swear I think the bed made it look like it's about 10 foot longer. Anyway, let me get the thing out, huh? So, one thing I will say is this little plasma, just your cheap Amazon model, worked out pretty well thus far. Back on it, line it up. There we go. Put this on here. Get that in, I'll weld that around it. Weld up sides, grind this top. Might put a little weld on it, I don't know. For the most part, I just want to make sure that this is flush. I'll get up underneath it a little, and this is flush. That encloses my frame. Looks better than I thought it did. There's a pinhole or two I need to touch up, but for the most part it's there. Alright, ran out of battery, but I did go ahead and get went ahead and got my front cross member in for the fuel tank. Rear, I've got a little more cleaning up to do. Then I gotta go up underneath and weld that. But that part of it's there. So I got it all fabbed up. A little more spot or two here to grind. Do have to put my nut certs in. There. then I can bolt this tank down. But this is ready. Right now what I'm going to do is get this rear end out, clean this all up, get it ready for paint. Getting back to finishing this up. One of the great things, I'm about to run out of battery. One of the great things are these rivets. Insert, so now you have a nut and a blind hole. So you've got if you've got sheet metal or something like that, these are awesome for that. You put them in. They sell a tool that you can actually crimp them in, but you can also use a bolt and a nut and run them down and tighten them up and set them with those. I'll put a video out thinking about buying the tool, because it is quite a bit easier. And the bigger ones, it can be a real pain. But I want you guys to see how I did it. So I'll make a video of that, and let's get this fuel tank mounted. Oh, let's set this down in it. Now, it sits there. I don't know if that screw hole is going to line up, but it's not. It's going to have to be opened up in that direction. So let's go ahead and do that. That's what I couldn't quite get to. So I'm just going to take something kind of oblong that one corner bolt up here. As always, so again, just give it a little oblong for that one corner to work in. Before I sit this thing down on there, all right, what I'm going with is just enough of this sound deadening material to sticky back. I'm going to stick some down to the thing, and I'm going to stick the other half to the tank. So I'll have two layers. I'll bolt this thing together. That should give me a pretty decent setup. Better picture of what I'm doing. Again, it's sticky back. This stuff, I believe, closed cell, so it should be waterproof. Stick that one there, and again, I'm going to double this up. There. This here will go end to end with it. These cut out. Let's spin this backwards. There we go. I want to put a little blue Loctite on these, so I'm going to grab that, and I'll get a long extension and ratchet so we can tighten these down. There we go. right, fuel tank is mounted. Now that everything's mounted, I've got plenty more stuff to take care of. Got a couple more videos coming at you. Check out the brakes on the back of this thing. We got new slotted and drilled rotors. All new calipers, new e-brake. Went through the entire braking system on the rear. That's another good video. So you guys with the OBS trucks or the 2004, the Yukons, all those things, that video will apply to you, as well as, hey, anybody that just, you know, is looking for something custom. Guys, if you like what you saw this time, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, come back, see me again.